Good morning, dear children. In the last video, we have discussed about thermal expansion. What is thermal expansion? It is the change in shape, area or volume of a substance by absorbing heat, isn't it? That can be considered as thermal expansion. And we have learned about thermal expansion in the case of solids. Solids usually possess a definite shape and definite volume. So, they can have linear expansion, superficial expansion and volume expansion. What is linear expansion? It is the increase in length by applying heat. Then superficial means increase in the area, and volume or cubical expansion means it is the increase in volume of a substance by absorbing heat. And already I told you, when we consider liquids or gases, they do not possess a definite shape. So the expansion will be volume expansion or cubical expansion in the case of liquids and gases. Do you remember that? So for solids, we are having all the three different types of expansion. But when we are considering liquids and gases, we'll be having just the cubical or volume expansion. So today first we'll be discussing about the expansion in liquids. Okay. So what about the rate of expansion in liquids when compared to solids and the gases? When you are considering solids, the molecules are so tightly packed. So expansion will be less in the case of solids. And in the case of gases, the molecules are so loosely packed, so the expansion will be more. And since the liquids lies in between these two, what can you say about the expansion in the case of liquids? Expansion in liquids is more than that in solids, but it is less than that in gases, isn't it? So expansion shown by liquids will be more than that in solids and less than that in gases. And again, when we consider the thermal expansion, it will be different for different liquids. We are having different types of liquids, isn't it? So thermal expansion shown will be different for different liquids. And in the case of same liquid itself, at different temperatures, the thermal expansion shown will be different. For example, when we are considering water, thermal expansion shown at a temperature between 10 degree to 11 degree in water is different from the expansion shown by the same water at a temperature between 93 and 94 degrees Celsius. So what all things you have to remember? Different liquids shows different rates of expansion, and when we are considering the same liquid itself, the expansion shown will be different at different temperatures. Okay, so is it clear? Now, how can we explain the expansion of liquids according to kinetic theory? That is the next thing. So when you are considering a liquid, there will be interparticle spacing as well as interparticle force between the molecules. The force of attraction between the molecules in a liquid is less than that of a solid. So when we are applying heat, what happens? Heat energy is provided means that the molecules will be getting more energy. So this increases the temperature of the molecules as well as it increases the kinetic energy of the molecules. Kinetic energy is the energy required for movement or motion. So when we are applying, when we are increasing the temperature, the molecules, the kinetic energy of the molecules also increases, and so what happens? They will move apart. Interspacing between the molecules increases. That means what? Its volume increases. So this is what happens in the case of expansion in liquids. So when you are applying heat energy, the molecules will get more energy and they will move apart since their kinetic energy increases. So when the molecules move apart, what happens? Volume increases. Okay. So is it clear about volume expansion? Now, which are the factors on which volume expansion of a liquid depends. It depends on three factors. First one is the material. Okay. Then the original volume of the liquid, and the next one is the change in temperature. As we learned in the case of solids, same things are repeating. So when we are considering the factors on which the expansion of a liquid depends, it depends on the material, then original volume, as well as the change in temperature. Do you remember the coefficient of volume expansion? Which letter is used to represent the coefficient of volume expansion? It is gamma. If it is linear expansion, alpha, superficial expansion, beta, and for cubical expansion, the coefficient is gamma. So how will we write the equation? Gamma is equal to delta V by V into delta T. That is, coefficient of volume expansion is equal to the new volume or the increase in volume by original volume into change in temperature. Okay, so the coefficient of volume expansion is given by the new volume. Delta V means the increased volume. Okay, increase in volume by original volume into change in temperature. Now what about the unit for gamma? Unit for volume will get cancelled because in the numerator and denominator we have volume. Then it will be either per degree Celsius, or you can write degree Celsius raised to -1 because temperature comes in the denominator. So is it clear about volume expansion? Volume expansion in the case of liquids. Okay. Now, next we will move to anomalous expansion or behavior shown by water. Okay, so it's a very, very important topic. Anomalous behavior or anomalous expansion of water. Normally, we know that all the substances expands on heating and contracts on cooling, isn't it? That is common for all the substances. But water shows an exceptional behavior between the temperatures 4 degrees Celsius and 0 degrees Celsius, and that is known as anomalous behavior or anomalous expansion of water. So, for example, let us consider water at 10 degrees Celsius. Okay. Water at 10 degrees Celsius is taken and now we are cooling it. So when it is cooled, what happens? All the substances expands on heating and contracts on cooling. So when we are cooling, water starts contracting. Okay. So 9 degree, 8 degree, 7 degree, etc. water goes on contracting. And when the temperature reaches 4 degrees Celsius, the contraction will be maximum. And so if the contraction is maximum means what? Molecules will come closer, isn't it? That is contracting. Expansion means molecules will move apart. So here what happens to the density? It possesses maximum density. Molecules are coming closer means density will be maximum. Then what about the volume? It will be minimum. Okay. So at 4 degrees Celsius, contraction is maximum. So that means density will be maximum and volume will be minimum. Again, when we are cooling, actually when we are cooling, what should be there? It should contract. So instead of contracting from 4 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius, when we are cooling water, it will expand. Okay, so this is a special behavior shown by water. From 4 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius, instead of contracting, water expands when it is cooled. And when it reaches 0 degrees Celsius, what happens? It is expanding. So the density will be minimum and we will be having maximum volume. This is called anomalous expansion of water. So is it clear? Once again, I'll tell you. We are considering water at 10 degrees Celsius. then we are cooling it. We know that all the substances expands on heating and contracts on cooling. So at first it cools till 4 degree. At 4 degree water contraction will be maximum. So water possesses maximum density and minimum volume. Okay, again when we are cooling, instead of contracting, it starts expanding till 0 degree, and at 0 degree it possesses minimum density and maximum volume. So this is called anomalous expansion of water. Okay, so is it clear? So we can say the reverse also. When you are taking water at 0 degrees Celsius and when we are heating, actually it should expand. Instead of expanding, when you are heating water at 0 degrees Celsius, it starts contracting till 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, when you are heating, water will contract, and at 4 degree it attains the maximum density and minimum volume, and after 4 degrees Celsius again when you are heating, it starts expanding. So this is a special behavior shown by water, and this is known as anomalous expansion of water, and this has many applications. I'll just tell you one, that is in cold countries. When you move to the cold countries, you can see ice cubes on the surface of lakes, rivers or ponds, isn't it? Then what about the aquatic life below that? Anyway, will be fishes and the other marine organisms are there in underwater, isn't it? So is it possible for the organisms to survive in ice cubes? No. So here when we look, we can see ice cubes on the surface, but under that or beneath that there will be water at 4 degrees Celsius. So when the temperature of the surroundings fall, the entire water, temperature of the entire water starts falling till 4 degree. At 4 degree what happens? Water attains maximum density. Denser particles will always go down and the lighter particles comes up. That is why the entire water gets cooled. Okay. So first when the temperature falls, the entire water gets a temperature of 4 degree. Then what happens? Again, when the temperature falls 4 degree to 0 degree, 4 degree water has maximum density. So the denser particles present at the bottom can't come up. The temperature of water in the bottom will remain as 4 degrees Celsius itself, but water on the surface gets expanded. 4 degree, after 4 degree water will expand instead of contracting. So it expands and its temperature falls. Okay, that is why ice is formed on the surface, but the water, temperature of water below ice will remain as 4 degree itself. So we'll study it in detail in 9th standard. Okay, using something known as Hooke's apparatus, we'll study about anomalous expansion in detail. Now you should know only this. Okay, and from here we can say that at 0 degree water has minimum density and maximum volume. That is why ice cubes floats on water, because if the particle is denser, it will go down. If it is lighter, it will float. So density of water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius. So when you are considering ice, its density is less than that of water, so it floats. So is it clear about anomalous expansion? Now we will be moving to the next part, that is apparent and absolute expansion in the case of liquids. This is anomalous expansion. The next one is apparent and absolute. Okay. So already we know that liquids doesn't possess any fixed shape, and it takes the shape of the container in which it is taken. Now we have taken liquid in a beaker and now we are applying heat. So actually what happens? The liquid will expand, isn't it? And the volume of the liquid increases. But here I am applying heat from the bottom. Okay. So when heat is applied, first thing is this container gets heated up. So this container will expand first. When the container expands, what happens to the level of the liquid? Level of the liquid first falls. Okay. Then after that, when the liquid starts expanding, you can see that the level of the liquid increases. I'll repeat. All the substances expands on heating. We cannot heat liquid directly. We'll be taking liquid in a container and we are heating it, isn't it? So I have taken some liquid in a container. When we heat it, at first what you can see is the level of liquid in the container decreases. Then after that, the level of the liquid increases. So actually what happens here, when we are applying heat, at first this container gets expanded. So when the container expands, what happens? What happens when the container expands? More space is there for the liquid. That means the level of the liquid falls. Then after that, the liquid gets heated up and it starts expanding. When the liquid expands, then you can see that the level of the liquid increases. So here we can just see first a decrease in the level of the liquid, then an increase in the level of the liquid. We won't understand what happens in between. So if we are just considering the expansion of liquid, it won't be a correct value, isn't it? Because first the level falls, then the level increases. So here, when we are just considering the level of liquid here, that won't give the correct value of the expansion of liquid. So this is called apparent expansion. Apparent means actually what we feel. Okay. So here we won't get the actual rate of expansion of the liquid. So if we want to get the actual value of the expansion of the liquid, what should we do? We have to consider how much the container has expanded. So when we consider the expansion of the container as well as the expansion of the liquid, then only we will get the actual value of the expansion of the liquid. That is known as absolute expansion. Okay, so is it clear? Apparent expansion means the expansion which is seen without considering, when we are not considering the expansion of the container. The expansion which we see, that is apparent expansion. In this case, we are not considering the expansion of the container. Absolute expansion is the actual expansion of the liquid. Here we will be considering the expansion of the liquid as well as expansion of the container. So is it clear? Now we will move to, so with this we completed the expansion in the case of liquids, and next we have the expansion in the case of gases. So as I said already, in the case of gases also we are having volume expansion, isn't it? So in order to demonstrate this, here we are considering a bottle. Okay, you can take a glass bottle, then on the mouth of the glass bottle you can keep a balloon. So it is a deflated balloon. So the mouth of the balloon can be placed in the mouth of the container. Okay, so now it is deflated. Deflated means what? No air is there. Now I'm going to give water bath for this. What do you mean by water bath? Water bath means we'll take a beaker and in that we'll be taking water. Now we will be applying heat from the bottom and this bottle will be kept on it. This is called water bath. It is difficult to heat a bottle directly. It gets, if it is a plastic bottle or something, it gets boiled. That means it gets destroyed, isn't it? So for such things, normally we'll be giving water bath. Water bath means you will be taking a beaker containing water and apply heat from the bottom. So the water gets heated up and this will be transferred to this bottle. Okay, so once we keep this bottle in water bath, what you can see is this balloon gets inflated. What is that? What do you mean by inflated? Gets bulged. So actually what happens here? We had air inside the balloon as well as inside this bottle. When heat is applied, the air present inside the bottle and the balloon gets increased. That means it expands and as a result the balloon gets inflated. Okay, so this shows that gases also expands on heating. So here I have taken a bottle. On the mouth of the bottle a balloon is fixed. Then it is kept on water bath. Water bath means taking some water on a beaker and applying heat from the bottom. So what you can see that the balloon gets inflated. This means that by heating, air present inside the balloon as well as the bottle also gets expanded. Okay. Now, how can you explain this volume expansion in the case of gases? So already we know that here the intermolecular force is very less when we consider gases, isn't it? The intermolecular force of attraction is less in the case of gases. So when we are already there is much spacing in between the molecules. So when we apply heat, what happens? The molecules are getting more energy, so it will move apart. It will move more, and as a result its volume increases. Since the interparticle force between the molecules is less in gases, more expansion will be shown by gases. And when you are considering gases which are confined to a particular volume, in the case of this bottle or the balloon, it cannot go out, isn't it? Here we have air inside the bottle as well as inside the balloon, but the movement of the molecules are limited within this volume. So, if the motion of the molecules are limited within a volume, when you are increasing the temperature, there will be a limit for this to expand. So, after the increase in temperature, naturally what happens is the increase in temperature results in an increase in pressure. So, after increasing the temperature, the pressure also gets increased. And when pressure increases, what happens to this balloon? It bursts. So, did you understand? Normally, the molecules of gas are free to move. But in certain cases, the motion of the molecules will be limited to a certain volume. This is an example. Here the mouth of the bottle is covered with the mouth of the balloon. So the air present inside this cannot go out. So continuously when you are heating, at first when you heat, what happens? The air molecules will expand and the balloon gets inflated. Again when you are heating, what happens is this increase in temperature will increase the pressure. So if more pressure is there, what happens? The balloon will burst. Okay, so is it clear? Now, the next one is the applications of thermal expansion. So, applications or examples. These things I'm just putting a video from YouTube based on this. Okay, so it will be better because pictures are there. It is a video, so you can see how the expansion takes place. Examples of thermal expansion in daily life. So, I'll share a video related to this topic. So, with this, we completed the chapter and many activities are given here. No need to consider the activities. Okay. So, no need of activities. Then, no need of considering the one more part I told, no? Here, which was that applications of evaporation. Activities and applications of evaporation are not needed, but we need the examples of thermal expansion that I'll share a video. Now, you can just write the answers of these questions. Okay. Take page number 101. I'll give you the homework questions. Question number 6, 7, 8 of give reasons. Give reasons. Question number 6, 7 and 8. Distinguish between the following. Question number 4. Long answer questions. Question number 5. So only these 5 question answers I need. Rest you can write the lecture note. Okay. So write the lecture notes of this topic plus these questions. Give reasons 6, 7, 8. Distinguish between the following. Question number 4 and long answer questions. Question number 5. So is it clear? Okay then. Thank you children.